Hello and welcome back, and this is the continuation of the previous video, view controls, right? So we'll be taking a couple of other view controls in this particular video. The first is the steering wheel. So this is the steering wheel. In the previous video we talked about rotating the object, the model, by pressing the shift and holding the scroll bar by rotating this. Right, so there's a couple of ways you can do that. One is the steering wheel. So supposing you want to look into the north direction, like this side, north side. So north is here, so I'm gonna drag, and when I let it go, it will be in the north direction, right? So I'm gonna go back to the original location. Also, this is a steering wheel, so you can even look at any position like north, east, west, and south, and so on. So you can probably, just like a steering wheel, you can rotate it to left, right, and so on. When it let it go, it will hold that particular position, right? So I'm going to go back to the original location. So this is a steering wheel. Another thing is that there's a drop down here. It's called context menu. So I'm going to click that. So it, for example, if I've rotated a few steps like this, and I'm gonna go to something called this context menu, go home. When I click go home, it will go to the original location, so the default location. So I'm gonna zoom it for a moment so you'll understand much better. Right, I'm gonna go back to go home, and then you can see it poised in the original position and in the original location. Right, so I'll zoom it for clarity. The next is the save view. You can rotate it and save a particular view, and it will hold that particular view. And the next is very important, it's called perspective. So we'll come back to this a little later in this video. Then set us, if you change to a different direction, and you can set that as a home view, like the way in which we have set right now. And you can set front to view, something like east and something like that, right? That will hold that particular front view, right? Something like that. And then reset front and show compass and orient to view. Say for example, if you want to orient to 3D view, say view number 3, that will take me to the particular thing. So I'm gonna undo that. I'm gonna go to the home view, right? And then options, this is pretty much the option in which we can see in the file. When I click file, there's something called options, right? That's the same thing. So I'm gonna open it from here. Option, that will take me to this particular thing called show the view cube. If I click this and I click OK, the view cube is gone, right? So it will be here. You can even activate it, that, right? So that will go to the navigation bar. So we'll come back to this navigation bar a little later. So this is the view cube, right? And then I'll go to option. If I want to have this in the bottom right hand corner, then I can put it bottom right. Or if you want to have it on the top left, you can go to the top left. Like I select top left and I give OK. You see all the navigation bar goes to here, and you can see this particular thing. So I generally prefer that to be in the top right hand corner. So I'm gonna leave it with the top right, and I'm gonna click OK. And you can even increase the opacity. Even you can increase to 100% or something like that. Generally it will be 50% default, but I've just made it to 75. Let's take it to 100%. I'm gonna give OK, and the opacity of that will be increased. Let's take that to the default as 50, right? Inactive opacity, right? Something like that. And snap to the closest view, and all these things should be kept checked. So that'll be very important, controls. I'm gonna click OK, right? And you can see the opacity got changed to 50. When I cover over this, and the opacity is go to 100, which is 100%. When I come this, whenever it is not active, it is inactive, it is 50, right? So you can change that to 75 and 100% as well, right? Next we'll move on to is the navigation bar. So this is the navigation bar, and which has got two important things. It's called navigation wheel, and this is a zoom in region. The shortcut is at R, right? So this is a very important thing. First we'll take a look at the navigation, right? So when I click that, I'll have a dynamic system that comes into place. It's called the navigation wheel. So I cannot dock this at a particular position, but instead I can only use a particular thing. So for example, if I want to rotate it, I click orbit. You see that particular dynamic thing is gone, and then I'll use this particular mouse left button to pivot it, and then I can rotate it and something like that. You see, I can do that when I click it. When I release that left hand mouse button, then this particular thing appears. Then I can press and zoom, then I can drag in, drag out based on the pivot. Like this is the pivot and it gets moved. Supposing I want to zoom from here, I'll click here, and this will be my pivot view. I'll click it, go. Next, one more time, I'll just put zoom here, this particular window. That will zoom me to this window, and if I press left click and drag back, and it will release it and something like that. Right. Then pan is it can take this and move it in any location. So whenever I drop that, and it will be in that position. So the pan is everything gets used by the left hand button, mouse button, right? Something like that. In earlier case, we used to have 3 buttons, left, middle and right. In the modern mouses, you have only middle is gone, right? Then I can do it with center. I can put it at the center tool, and I can make it centered, or I can click here and I can put it centered, and I can bring it here and I can make it centered. So the entire drawing, the center of that, I can make it like, I can make it center, I can do center, so it's centered, right? Then up and down, I can probably go up and down, like you can see, I can probably move up and down, something like that, right? Right, so the walk needs a perspective view. So first I'm gonna go to the original view of it. Then I'll go, I'll dock here. When I click dock, it will go into that navigation bar, and I'll give the context menu, and I'll change it to perspective. So I'll change it to perspective. The entire model now in the perspective view. Right, so I'll just move that a little bit. Right, now I'll go back to this, and I'll go and check this walk. So I'll click walk. So you see, this is how I just walk, kind of thing. So just look, can zoom in. Let me zoom in further. Like I'll just close this or dock that. Let's zoom in the perspective view, and then I'll just select that, and I'll look for walk, like how I walk, just like that's like a video game and something like that. And then I can press the arrow keys to move. It's just like pinned location, like it will just show me the pinned location or something like that. All right, so and then very important thing is I'll go back to this location. Then there's something called rewind. So when I click rewind, that will take me to the rewind locations of what I've done previously, something like this and so on, right? I'm gonna dock that, and I'm gonna move back to the original version. The next is the fly. I'll just see a fly overview of it, like just a bird eye view or something like that. You can check this. For this to be activated, you need to have the perspective in place. I'm going to change to orthographic, the original thing. Once I click, the fly is gone. Right now, I'll just have to put in the position, right? And then the next is the right. So this is full navigation wheel. You'll have almost all control. A mini navigation wheel, like I exhibit here, something like I press Control W, Shift W, beg your pardon. So it has got only the orbit, look, pan, and something like that. It's a kind of a mini orbit, fly wheel, or full navigation wheel, or mini object wheel, like something like rewind, something like that, pan, rewind. There's only 4 components. And mini tour building view, which only have very few limited thing. So up, down, walk, rewind, and something like that, right? So generally I prefer full navigation view. That's the everything. So you can press shift and W, that will comes into picture, right? I'm gonna dock that for a moment. You can dock that, right? And then zoom in region. Say for example, I select this and I can make a kind of an view like this that will take me to that particular thing in zoomed in view. So when I click here, that will take me to this particular thing. So I can go back and see that, and I can zoom out to X, like so it will go to X interior, and it goes on and on, right? And then zoom to fit. Yeah, zoom to fit, and then zoom all to fit. It's pretty much the same. All to fit is like when you have a multiple models, and zoom sheet size and previous span zoom and something like that. Like so, this is typically the important thing, right? So steering wheel zoom and docking position, you can have it left, right. So this particular navigation bar, you can have bottom left, right? So or you can have top right, something like that. And then you can give an opacity, change the opacity to 100. So this will be 100 even in inactive mode. I'll just keep the this defaults 50. So this is the navigation wheel, a navigation bar, right? So supposing you close this, right? So I close this, and for this there's no close button. You have to only go to options and show cube off. So this is what, if you don't have this cube, you can go to file, you can go to option, and in that option you can check in the view cube, and you can check in and you can give OK. And for the navigation bar, let me open this, right? So go to view and user interface and navigation bar, you can click in, you see the navigation bar has comes in picture, right? So I hope you really enjoy this video. In the subsequent videos, we'll take a look at the other important concepts of Revit, right? So until then, bye bye.